You got to remember, we're 17, 18, 19. We're playing at roller rinks, man. We're playing it. We'll take this prom. We'll take this bar mitzvah. There wasn't a whole lot of booking agents in Texas. So we kind of had to learn ourselves, teach ourselves how to get into these clubs and where we were going to play. So we had to play cover songs, even though we were in the studio selling these records at the shows. And we had our own lights. We had our own PA, you know. They got bigger and bigger, and actually we made a hell of a living towards the end there. But with the first singer, just something was amiss. And me and Dom were listening to freaking Kill 'Em All, the first Metallica record. Had met James and Lars. They'd been down, stayed down at the house for about 2 weeks. We just jammed nonstop. Really cool. And meeting those cats were just a totally different world for us. That was such a great experience, you know? So we needed somebody like that in the band. Because Terry had decided he wanted to go to college. He didn't think that it was worth his time to spend and dedicate that as part of it, even as successful as we were starting to get. Pretty much the hottest little band in Texas coming up for kids that were underneath their 20s, you know? And they used to have guitar contests. And Dom won every one for like 6 years in a row. You know, they'd throw him a Charvel and a freaking Marshall, you know, or Gibson or whatever was the flavor of the year. They'd have them like twice a year, and they finally said, son, you can't be in these things. We want to give it to some other cats, you know. You know, this is about the same time that we were playing places like Hardy's in Houston and kind of branching out from the Metroplex, and had a small little crew that, you know, just guys that we had to teach them how to tune stuff. And as you can see, this is a family band, and this is something that we really focused on. In '86, we went and did a showcase in LA with this one singer we thought was just the best we could find from all over the country. We had talent scouts and everything. But anyway, this guy was not the guy. I mean, he couldn't last a week out in LA. So we went through about another 4 or 5 guys, and they were all home guys. And then we hear about this guy that played in this band called Razor White. Then he gets me on the phone, and he goes, man, I just talked to some dude, and he sounds just like Bon Jovi. And I went, what does that mean? That's just the way the brothers talked, you know. That means he had mojo. So I said, all right, well, what do you want to do? I said, I'll book him a ticket, whatever, you know. I was the only guy working in the band, pretty much. So I said, look, I'll book this guy down. Let's see if he works out. We got to do something. We just can't sit here stagnant, you know. This is the breaking point. Philip comes down, and I pick him up in the 74 Corvette and took him straight to the living room that we had set up that day to jam. And we played just about every Cheetah's Free song or anything that was current that we all knew. This guy was amazing. Looked the part. He was fresh 18. That moment when you get somebody after you just jam with 5 assholes, man, you know, that feeling was really, really cool. That's when we knew, oh shit, this could be something good.